Well, a lot going on in the world of crypto this week. Sam Bankman-Fried testifying at his own fraud trial. He says a lot of people got hurt over FTX, said that he's not entirely sure about the FTX Alameda fund flows. Alameda, of course, is the hedge fund. And then there's also the actual crypto market, Carol. Bitcoin enjoying a solid week, up roughly 12%. And you got to kind of throw that number out there with
60,000 anyone? Oops,
yeah.
that was
Well,
that was the past.
You got to throw that number out there with the understanding that it trades 24/7. So if you say that number, you got to always be looking at it. It's all happening amid hopes of fresh demand from the possible approval in coming weeks of the first U.S. ETF investing directly in Bitcoin.
Got to tell you, we got a live blog that's tracking the testimony and what's going on in the courthouse today. Let's get to it, though. We've got our weekly check on the world of crypto. We have with us Terrence Yang, Managing Director of FinTech, Law Tech, Privacy at Swan Bitcoin. It's a platform that allows people to buy Bitcoin, including in IRAs, and he is joining us on Zoom from Los Angeles, California. Terrence, nice to have you here with us. I feel like the world of crypto is focused, and maybe rightfully so, on what's going on with SBF and FTX. What about the trial and the testimony are you watching very closely? And maybe what it means potentially for the crypto world going forward?
I am watching closely. Great to see you again, Carol.
Hi.
And hi, Tim. Bottom line, I think a couple things. Defense finally present their case. When they do the cross-examinations, right, it's usually to create doubt about the credibility of the prosecution's witnesses. It is not to present their case, and now they're doing that. I think Sam got very lucky, and the defense counsel got very lucky to have sort of this mock trial proffer yesterday with a judge, and now Sam seems to be doing a better job. He has a tendency to meander, but he's getting the point across.
Do you know him, Terrence? You're using his first name, whereas a lot of people use his initials. Do you know Sam Bankman-Fried?
No, I do not.
How are you following the trial?
Yeah. I follow through X. They have a lot of good information, but also Bloomberg.com and some other sites.
I agree about Bloomberg.com. There's some great stuff there. Our live blog is really, really good. No, I'm just curious because it's, we're not getting, we have to rely on, reporting from there, whereas in so many other instances, we can actually watch live feeds from what's going on in the courtroom. And, we rely on court sketches and impressions, Carol, from our reporters who are there. So it's, it's a different experience, I think, for people who are observing. Yeah. You don't necessarily see the way he's feeling, at least according to our own interpretations. So talk more about what you're seeing and what you're reading from the trial, Terrence.
Yeah, sure. So based on what I'm reading and seeing, the defense is presenting a case. Sam's presenting a case that Caroline is basically the one to blame, did not hedge. He had doubts about her abilities, right? And is thinking of shutting down Alameda and other things. So you just need really one juror to get a hung jury. One juror who thinks there's reasonable doubt, does not cave. So someone who's a little bit strong-minded, because it would be 11-1, but that can happen. And then on retrial, what might happen with the BlackRock and Fidelity ETFs happening, arguably we're in a bull market, FTX with John Ray, who's excellent, in my opinion, at this sort of thing, clawing back assets, maybe doing a turnaround and so forth. You could have a situation where maybe people don't care as much because, for example, the investment in Anthropic and other things mean that everybody gets paid, or at least the FTX investors get paid whole, 100 cents on the dollar. That's possible by the time they retry. And so that might be how he gets off. I could see it as kind of a two-step process just because there's so much evidence against him.
Terrence, what's productive, though, for the crypto industry here in terms of the outcome of this trial specifically?
So I part ways with my crypto friends, some of whom I'm friends with in real life even today, but I am Bitcoin only, and I think that there needs to be, and there will be, massive cleanup in crypto. You see that with Senator Lummis and others kind of asking the government the DOJ to decide kind of get off the block or not, and just issue indictments or make a decision on CZ and Binance, but also Tether. I think Tether's okay, but I don't want to get into that. I think the main point is we have massive tailwinds for Bitcoin because of BlackRock, Fidelity, and two other trillion-dollar plus asset managers all applying for a spot Bitcoin ETF. And that looks like it's going well. On the other hand, you have crypto, which has destroyed many Americans, especially poor and middle class, with of their life savings through these pump and dumps, these digital penny stocks that these casinos are basically, underregulated casinos are basically showing on the American public. And that does not look so good. I think that's less promising because of all the securities violations and allegedly crimes against committed by SBF. Potentially CZ and Binance, we'll see if they actually die.
Are you worried about the implications of people changing the way they're thinking about crypto because of SBF and other people who are in the crosshairs of law enforcement, Terrence? There, people are saying, okay, I'm just going to throw in the towel because, well, look at the performance. And two,
Sure.
Look at the people who we thought were reputable. I mean, they named stadiums and had Super Bowl ads.
I am not. The reason is because I'm a long-term believer in Bitcoin. I think 5, 10 decades out, Bitcoin should be very valuable. There are other threats to it with FinCEN and other things that the government's doing. That's not good. It's underreported for now. I'm sure Bloomberg will fix that and others. But bottom line, I'm not worried because, look, there's been a mess. That was a massive bubble in 2021 in crypto and Bitcoin, and the fallout from the bear market and the destruction, and there needs to be a cleanup. I think it's really naive to think that, this is bad for Bitcoin because Bitcoin has enduring value. So, and it doesn't have a CEO. It's not a security.
Hey, Terrence, forgive me for jumping in. We've just got a couple minutes left here, but I'm thinking,
sure.
There might be people listening or watching our broadcast right now, listening to you and say, yeah, I get it, that there needs to be a cleaning out. That makes sense, right? We certainly saw that in the internet, in .com bust, right? There were some things that really made sense and there were a lot of things that didn't. Having said that, you're at Swan Bitcoin and you're of course going to say Bitcoin is the one to follow and that has legs here. So what would you say to somebody like that you're basically, forgive me for lack of better words, talking your book?
No, I am talking my book. I think you do want people to talk their book and reveal it and explain it. I used to be in crypto. I was retired when Corey Clipston, our wonderful founder and CEO, pulled me, made me a job offer to come out of retirement. So a lot
You're
of
retired?
us...
You're too young to retire.
I was overpaid on Wall Street. I'm older than I look, and I was overpaid on Wall Street, and I was living frugally, taking care of my aging parents. But anyway, so bottom line, I would say, at Swan, we have people on a mission to help other people get Bitcoin before Wall Street and governments buy out the Bitcoin. If we're right, and I think we are, that this is the ultimate hard money asset for the future because it's digital, it's bearer, it's very hard to stop, it's very hard to confiscate and take away, and incredibly finite at only 21 million Bitcoin. So in my view, it's okay to be... have a view, but you have to reveal why and you have to justify, defend your position.
Right. Transparency is going to be crucial, but I still try to get my head around this idea of, the purity of what Bitcoin and maybe blockchain are supposed to be, but then are you opening up doors to a lack of oversight and then problems? So then how do you balance that with some kind of oversight that really makes it safe and secure? But that's going to be something we have to hold for next time and a future conversation because we do have to run. Terrence, thanks for spending time with us. Terrence Yang, Managing Director of FinTech, LawTech, Privacy over at Swan Bitcoin, as we said, a platform that allows people to buy Bitcoin, including in their IRAs, which would really open it up to a lot of people.
We got to get Corey back on the show too. He's always a fun interview as well.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Really appreciate Terrence Yang taking the time to join us. Hey, let's get to Washington, D.C. now for checking the latest world and national news. We got Nancy Lyons in the Bloomberg Night.